What's good, everybody? We are back again. I go by the name of Rip16.
What up, though?
The GOAT.
I am Ty the Jet.
And we are the mighty No Hedging Podcast duo. We are back again with another exhilarating, fun, exciting, excellent episode
Week
of
5.
the rundown for Week 5 of the NFL season. If you're not already tapped in, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. You help us out a lot so we can keep bringing you more dope, fire, lit content and hopefully win you some monies.
That's it.
Speaking of winning some monies, have you subscribed to Props Made Easy yet? If not, you should hit that link in that description, Props Made Easy. You having some trouble figuring out whether these lines are too high, whether they're overvaluing this guy, undervaluing this guy. Props Made Easy. You know what I'm saying? Take out some of that guesswork. It calculates what these sports books have. It calculates what places like Prize Picks and Underdog and all those other ones that they got. Calculates all that in there, and then, gives you a nice synopsis of where you should go with the bet. You know what I'm saying? Pretty easy to read, pretty simple to do. Helps me hit. It's only $20. Hey, you can make that in one good hit.
Yeah, shout out to Props Made Easy, man. Last Thursday, I'm not really a props guy.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that stood out to me, that made me pull the trigger on it was CeeDee Lamb. He went over 85 yards receiving. It was an easy play.
Easy
and
money.
shout out to Props Made Easy, man. I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. So make sure you click that link.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And speaking of wins, how did you do last week in your overall record, brother?
Last week we did good. We making a small little bounce back.
Yeah.
11-5 last week.
Okay. I went 10-6.
Yeah,
I went 10-6.
So that puts me at 35-29 and puts you at 34 and
30.
34 and 30.
Yes, sir. We right there.
So we above 500. We got back on track last week. It was a pretty decent week compared to the 2 weeks prior. But I think I think we're starting to feel out who these teams really are.
Yeah. I got a bonus win this past week because I kicked your ass in fantasy.
Yeah, congratulations. I didn't stand a chance.
You did not. Young Way Cool put up 20 for me at that kicker position, and that was...
You didn't even need that.
And I still would have won. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even have Jordan Love and Jordan Addison in.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of things going in my favor. Thank you to the fantasy gods for looking out for your boy and giving me an edge up over this guy, because that league is for the monies.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But without further ado, we will go ahead and tap into the rundown. All right, man.
Thursday night football, first game on the slate.
TNF, you already know what's going. You already know what's going.
Before we jump into it, Atlanta, they've been putting Atlanta in a lot of primetime spots. 3 primetime football games in 5 weeks.
They had to. They knowing what's going.
Okay.
We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons.
These niggas haven't played a road game yet.
Yes, we did. We played Philly and won. The Atlanta Falcons are a 1.5 point favorite in this game, sort of a pick 'em, which I get. And we at home. We can be unconventional. What say you about this game?
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and get an edge to the Atlanta Falcons. I like what they've been doing on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, defense is tough.
Lately they've been playing very good defense, and they've been playing complimentary football as well. They've been able to score some points offensively. Even though the Bucks they came off a huge win this week against Philadelphia.
Philly was banged up though.
Yeah, they were banged up.
Philly was banged up. I'm not giving that one too much sauce, even though the Buccaneers have played Philly pretty well over the past few seasons. However, I'm not giving that too much sauce because I picked Tampa Bay to win last week because who the hell is Jalen Hurts gonna pass to without AJ Brown and without Smitty?
Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I like what I started seeing out of Atlanta's defense. They started getting some pressure. Judon making some plays. Garrett obviously making some plays as well, stopping that run. Yeah. So I think, they should be able to dial up some pressure against Baker Mayfield, have him running around a little bit. But it's going to be a close game. But I like Atlanta in this game at home to go ahead and win this one.
Yeah, I think it's another game where it's going to come down to some good situational football.
100%.
I think the biggest concern that I have about Atlanta in this one is the line, the damage that we have had at the offensive line. Blocking for Kirk Cousins, because Tampa Bay's defense has been no slouch. They've been decent. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little bit concerned about that offensive line blocking. However, I do feel like we have enough offensive firepower and enough defense of our own in the secondary to at least contain Mike Evans, to contain Chris Godwin, so that they don't have like a monstrosity of a game.
Explosive plays, yeah.
And then, after that line, with Judon and Grady Jarrett and those guys, they have enough on that line to be able to kind of corral.
Carter too. He's been balling.
Lorenzo Carter, yeah. I like him. They have enough on that line to be able to corral like a Bucky Irvin and kind of pull those guys in a little bit. Because they have a couple injuries on their own on that Tampa Bay side of the football too. So I like the Falcons' chances in this one. I'll take us at home. Now, if they was in Tampa Bay, I might be having a slightly different conversation because I do think it's close, but I do think the Falcons at home. Both teams coming off a short week, of course. I'm going to go with the home team. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, next game on the slate. This is where shit gets really weird.
Yeah.
We're headed to London. The New York Jets. Jets going against the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. Mm-hmm. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite when both teams are on the road across the pond. In this game, now at the beginning of the season, I would think that I would probably be calling this game in the Jets' favor at the beginning of the season. However, interestingly, the Vikings have turned into U-Law, meaning they're nobody's bitch. Yeah. The Vikings are the favorite, and I see why, and I do think I'm going to roll with the Vikings on this one. The Jets put up an atrocious offensive performance against the Broncos. Yeah. And I feel like the Vikings defense has been playing arguably just as good as the damn offense.
That's true.
So to me, I feel like the Vikings defense is going to give that offense enough fits to be able to contain them. Garrett Wilson hadn't went off in a game yet. Am I tripping? Did he cook up anywhere significantly?
Nope.
So he hadn't really went off anywhere, so I don't think it'll be too much offensive firepower for them to contain, especially if they can kind of corral the run game in. As I mentioned, same thing with the Falcons. If that defensive line can corral that run game in and contain them to decent numbers, I just feel like the Vikings have too much firepower on offense, and they have just too much momentum and energy going. I think I can see a gritty in the future in London.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Jets, man. I'm gonna take the Jets. I'm gonna go the other way. I think that undefeated streak ends this weekend in London. When you go overseas, weird things happen.
Weird things do happen.
One thing about the Vikings I wasn't impressed with was how they allowed the Green Bay Packers to score 22 points in the fourth quarter to make a push to come back in the end of the game. Towards the end of the game, the Jets been dealing with a lot of scrutiny this past week about the offense, about the coaches, about Aaron Rodgers. I think they make something happen this weekend. That defense is pretty much going. I want to see that matchup between Sauce Gardner and Justin Jefferson. I think that's the matchup of the weekend.
And then you still got to deal with Addison.
Yeah. I mean, they got Reed on the other side as well. He's a good corner also. So I like the Jets defense here to be able to slow down what Sam Darnold's been doing. because the Jets defense played very aggressive. You got Quentin Williams, you got Quincy Williams, you got all these guys speed on the defensive side of that football that I don't think the Vikings have seen just yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give the edge to the Jets, and I'm gonna take them this week to win.
Okay.
Underdog alert. Underdog alert.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I do not agree, but I hear you. I just feel like that outside is going to get pushed by Jefferson, and the inside is going to be pushed by Addison. When you're talking about the inside of the field, inside of the hashes, and the outside, it's a dual threat attack. It's a problem. Sauce Gardner can't guard every damn body. So that's why I'm rolling, but I do understand it's London. Next game on the slate, getting into those 1 o'clock games, we have the Baltimore Ravens coming off a very impressive win versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens are a 2.5 point favorite in this game on the road. Now, the Bengals bounced back and won a game versus the Panthers. The Ravens doubled up on wins. Yeah, back-to-back wins. What say you?
Divisional game.
That too.
Divisional game.
Another divisional game.
Cincinnati's defense, like you said, they got their first win against the Panthers, okay?
Yeah.
The Panthers.
Yeah.
All right, so the Baltimore Ravens are not the Panthers.
At all.
So the way that the Baltimore Ravens dominated Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills and that offense, Josh Allen's a good quarterback, right?
Yeah.
We'll say Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I think the Baltimore Ravens, if they stick to the same run game plan that they stuck with against the Buffalo Bills, with this Cincinnati's defense that hasn't been good this year, I think they have a chance to win this game. Now, the only caveat is it is a divisional game, so these guys have seen Lamar Jackson a numerous amount of times.
Yeah, they play each other a lot. They're familiar with his game.
But I feel like anytime Cincinnati plays Lamar, I think they lose. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Ravens on this one. I'm going to go with the juggernaut. I think they stick to the run game, and they win. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Ravens ended up winning this one.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this because it's a simple fact that I don't love what Cincinnati has been doing defensively with some of these teams. You got the Panthers putting up hella points on them. I do understand it. It's the red rifle at quarterback now, so they put up better numbers with the Panthers. However, the Panthers were scoring on them. Xavier Legette got in the end zone for the first time on that Bengals defense and rolled his horse right to the bench. I just don't feel like defensively they're going to be able to do enough out of that Ravens offense that I just saw. That's ranked number 1 currently. Number 1 offense, number 1 rushing. And I get it. That run game was highly impressive, and you got Justice Hill, who also did very well coming in as basically a receiver. To me, I just feel like that Raven team shows up to Cincinnati, they can't do nothing with them.
Right.
And the Bills have been playing better than Cincinnati. So that tells me everything I need to know. Last game, the Ravens beat them by 2 touchdowns last time they played.
Yeah.
But that was without Joe Burrow, I believe. So I'm going to excuse that. But, yeah. In any event, that's where I'm rolling. Don't have much more I have to say about that. Next game on the slate, we have the Buffalo Bills.
This is a good little matchup right here.
Going against the Houston Texans in a pick'em. Technically, the Bills are a 1 point favorite in this game, but Houston is at home. So it's a very interesting matchup, like you just said. I mean, C.J. Stroud had a nice comeback.
Is Joe Mixon back?
That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon is a key factor. That was the biggest issue that I saw. They cannot run the ball.
They cannot.
They cannot run the ball. And if Joe Mixon is not out there, they are in trouble. I don't know if he's slated to return quite yet. I think he had a Q on him when I was looking at fantasy players and whatnot. But that Joe Mixon in the lineup is going to be the hugest factor for Houston in this one. He's still questionable, and he did not practice on Wednesday. So
that might be
that's not a good look. You're not practicing on Wednesday. It's not a good sign. So with that being said, I'm going to roll with the Bills in this one, even though Houston is at home.
Okay.
I'm going to run with Buffalo. I do like the revenge matchup with Stephon Diggs. But they came off of an embarrassing loss against the Ravens. And if Joe Mixon ain't out there, that run game is going to be a big-ass problem against the Bills. So that is my rationale. Even though if Joe Mixon was in, I would probably pick Houston.
Right. This is a tough one because I feel like, Houston has a more complete team overall.
Yeah. On paper.
On paper, right? I feel like they do, but I just feel like they got that dog in Josh Allen. And Sean McDermott, he's going to be able to dial up some defenses to kind of slow down what C.J. Stroud got going on.
We got to get a stat team around here. I need to know what's Josh Allen's stat after a loss.
But I'm going to take the Houston Texans.
Okay.
At home.
Okay.
Generally, I like to go with, a team that just got beat up real bad. I like to take them to bounce back. But in this spot, I just think offensively, the Texans, they still got a lot of weapons offensively. I think that Bills secondary is kind of slow. Seen that when they was playing against the Ravens. You got too many weapons out there. Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. You got a lot of speed out there.
I think Tank Dell is slated to come back this game too.
Yeah, you got a lot of speed out there on the Houston Texans offense. Dalton Schultz, he's good as well. So I'm gonna take the Houston Texans, man. I'm gonna take the home dog.
Okay, it's not a bad pick. I'm not mad at it. Hell, I've been heavily considering it my damn self, but that run game, man, it's just
I agree with that run game.
That run game is a big ass problem, but
run game is a little iffy.
But I mean, we did make a valid point in takeaways about opponent strength when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. Like, have they beat anybody that's of significance? And the Houston Texans are definitely of significance.
So we think.
So I'm gonna roll with Buffalo. But if Joe Mixon show up on Sunday,
you're changing it
for sure. Next game on the slate, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Chicago Bears.
I told y'all Chicago was gonna get that win last week. I told you.
They got it. They got it. They still had some struggles.
Yeah, they did, but they ran the ball.
They ran the ball better. They ran the ball better, and that led them to a W.
We've been preaching and screaming it for weeks.
Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Chicago Bears are a 4-point favorite in this game against the Carolina Panthers at home. What say you?
I'm going to go roll with the Bears again. I'm doubling down on the Chicago Bears at home.
Against the Red Rifle?
Against the Red Rifle, absolutely. That Chicago's Bears defense, they know how to create turnovers, man. That's what they've been doing all season, all year, and that's what's been helping them get wins as well. Caleb Williams, they put the ball in the belly of Swift, so they ran the ball more efficiently, which took off a lot of pressure from Caleb Williams. He had to do too much. When he does too much, that's when things go south. So I think they continue with that recipe. And then, I mean, Andy Dalton, Carolina Panthers, they still the Carolina Panthers. I don't. However you spin it.
What you mean, bro?
However you spin it, I think the Bears is just a better football team, and I'm gonna take the Bears.
Okay. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you. I can't put too much faith in the Panthers who won one game. I'm gonna roll with the Bears in this one. I think the defense is gonna be good enough to stifle that Panthers offense.
Stifle the rifle.
They're gonna stifle the rifle. So I'm gonna roll with the Bears just because of the defense. I think Caleb is still developing, but I'm looking for a Keenan Allen sighting on this game. We might see what Props Made Easy has to say about good old Keenan. I think it's about time he starts showing up and assisting the rookie a little bit. But if they can generate a little bit more run game, then I do think that opens up the offense even more for Caleb to distribute to that good wide receiving core that he has.
Yeah, you can run on Carolina.
You can run on Carolina too. So I'm gonna roll with them. Next game on the slate, we have the Cleveland Browns.
This is a good game right here.
Versus the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are a 3-point favorite in this game. Who would have saw that coming at the beginning of the season?
Right, nobody.
But, I mean, statistically speaking, Jaden Daniels has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the goddamn league.
He has.
So
82% completion percentage.
Boy, completion percentage is crazy.
Yeah. That's going to drop this weekend because he's playing a Cleveland Browns. Is Myles Garrett playing?
He played last game.
Okay. If Myles Garrett is playing, look out.
Yeah.
Look out. I don't have faith in Jaden Daniels keeping this up long term. Okay. I think this is a better defense, one of the better defenses that he's went up against this season. So
we are talking about the Browns that just lost to Devontae Adams-less Raiders.
Yeah, and a Max
Crosby-less Raiders.
But the reason the Browns aren't good is their offensive line is horrible. And the Washington's defense does not scare me at all. The Washington's defense does not. They're not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know that.
And then also Amari Cooper dropping passes. That was a problem last week as well. Dropping passes that hit him in the chest. So at first I'm looking at it like, yo, Deshaun Watson sucks. But then I'm like, you know what? It's really not him. At first it was him, but then as you look at the game,
60% so far. He's thrown
as you look at the game a little more.
Touchdowns.
You look at the game a little more. He's running for his life because the offensive line isn't blocking. And then when he throws passes to his receivers, they aren't catching them. They're dropping them. And then the loss to David Njoku, that's been a problem as well. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Browns to win this game, man. I'm gonna take them to win flat out.
All right, man. I got to say Denano on that one, my brother.
Denano.
I just don't trust that Browns offense. They look atrocious. Whether it's the offensive line, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether they can't run the ball, I don't know. It's a new problem every week. Excuses are like assholes. Everybody has one. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders because they've been red hot. They contained a dynamic Arizona Cardinals offense last week on defense. So you telling me the Browns offense look better than the Cardinals offense thus far? I think not.
That's true.
So give me the Washington Commanders. I think the win streak continues. I think Jaden Daniels continues to cook, and I don't think there's much they can do about it. They're gonna get after him. They're gonna test him, but he is agile. He can scramble out of the pocket. He can move, and he got weapons. So give me the Washington Commanders. Next game on the slate, we have another division matchup.
Garbage Bowl.
Cue the chat. What a waste of money. We have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now the Jaguars are a 3-point favorite in this game at home. What say you?
I think I'm gonna take the Jaguars at home, man. They were they battled playing Houston last week. They could have won that game.
They were close.
They could have won that game towards the end. Some things didn't go their way, but I think at home they kind of get things back together. Whether the Colts are playing Richardson or Joe Flacco,
that is the biggest factor.
Either way, I think I'm gonna go with Jacksonville to kind of get things in line. I mean, can they go 0-5? Will they go 0-5?
They are bad enough to go 0-5.
I don't know. They got good players on that team, man. I don't think they lay down against the Colts, man. I'm gonna take the Jags on this one.
Anthony Richardson was limited at practice. He's still having an oblique issue.
They did cover my spread last week. +5, +6.
They did. But he still has an oblique issue, which means that I'm banking on Joe Flacco making another start. Joe
Flacco and Jonathan Taylor, that's who you rolling with?
I'm going with Flacco and Jonathan Taylor in this one. If Anthony Richardson is out and Flacco is in, I think that he has enough veteran experience to be able to handle what the Jacksonville Jaguars have been doing, which is not much, if we're being honest. They did have a pretty good game against the Texans. However, it wasn't enough to win against Texans who were one-dimensional in that game. To me, I feel like the Colts at least have a balanced offense with Jonathan Taylor being able to run the football. So I'm going to roll with the Colts in this one with Joe Flacco. I understand why they're the underdog in this one, but I just feel like Flacco can do enough.
Underdog alert.
Give me the dog alert. Give me the Colts, man. I don't think Jacksonville wins till they probably show up to London or something.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Honest.
Sound about right.
Next game on the slate. Now we do have a garbage bowl here.
Another one.
Another one. The Miami Dolphins versus the New England Patriots.
Both teams got blown out last week.
It's a pick 'em. Both teams got blown out. Technically, the New England Patriots are a 1-point favorite in this game, but to be honest, I don't think a favorite is really deserving of either team at this point. Like I said, Miami had no life when they played, and the Patriots looked like they got the life knocked out of them when they played San Francisco 49ers. So,
yeah.
You tell me what to do with this.
I'm going to take the Dolphins, man. Usually after the 49ers fucking bludgeon a team, the team comes out the next week and they don't win that next game. It's been like that for a year or two. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take
bludgeon.
I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins, man. Tyreek Hill was a little pissed off during that game.
As he should be.
And I think they, got another week with Huntley in practice and figuring out that, getting that rhythm and understanding that offense. I think Mike McDaniel put together a nice game plan. Utilizing that speed, probably do a little bit more things out of the backfield.
He ran the ball pretty well.
Yeah, so
at quarterback.
Right. So I think I'm gonna take the Dolphins on the road in this one to kind of bounce back. They lost to a bad Titans team that I don't think they should have lost to, but the Patriots, they got bludgeoned against the Niners, and I think when the Niners put a beat down on you, still kind of wounded from that beat down usually. So
and this is still a division game.
Yeah, it's a division game. I'm taking the Dolphins, though.
Okay. I mean, I'll say this. I got more faith in the Dolphins than I do the Patriots. Right about now, I don't really have great faith in either team. However, I do have more faith in the Dolphins than the Patriots. And I do think that Tyler Huntley, if he's going to stay at quarterback, he can scramble. He can maneuver out of the pocket. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to be an extremely dangerous threat to anybody.
Ain't nobody scared of him.
Achane, I'm expecting to have a much better game out of him than he had because he did damn near nothing versus the Tennessee Titans. So I'm going to roll with the Dolphins just off of the strength. I do think it's a garbage bowl. If you're a wise man, you probably fade this game.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I'm not wise. I might play it.
Right on, brother. Next game on the slate, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers are a 7.5-point favorite at home in this game. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, another divisional game, man. The Cardinals play the 49ers, man. They play them hard sometimes. The 49ers, they I would say Stella got their groove back.
They got some new life. They look like themselves.
Yeah, got the groove back. They're getting healthier. Debo came back. I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game at home. I'm not sure about that 7.5, but I'm going to take the 49ers to win this game at home.
Yeah, I'm pretty much feeling the same way as you. I think the Arizona Cardinals got the hell beat out of them by the Washington Commanders last week, and I think that's because the Washington Commanders are fire red hot. However, the San Francisco 49ers look like they got their weapons back in play, and Brock Purdy is continuing to play well.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Mason has been running the ball pretty well, even in the absence of CMC. So I'm going to roll with the 49ers just because I think they're going to be too much for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides of the football. I don't love 7.5, but, they covered it last week against an inferior opponent.
Yeah, it was against the Patriots.
But this is a division game, so it's a little bit different energy there. So I'm not high on the 7.5, but I do like the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Next game on the slate, we have another division game. Division. The Las Vegas Raiders are a 2.5-point underdog against the surprisingly winning Denver Broncos.
Bo Nix only threw for 63 yards and won.
That's terrible. What say you then?
Yeah, there's a lot of noise going on in Vegas right now with Devontae Adams and getting traded and all that. I'm not sure if Max Crosby is healthy playing this week.
I'm not sure either.
But Denver, it seems like they got something going there. They beat a good defense, in the Jets. Jets, has a good defense, good players over there on the road at that point. So I'm gonna take the Broncos a win. They're gonna be at home in this matchup. Too much noise going on in Vegas, man. I think that's gonna yeah. Give me the Broncos.
Somebody light some sage and do something. Give me some Florida water or something.
Bo Nix.
I'm gonna pick the Broncos. I'm probably gonna regret this pick because they
just don't bet them.
The Broncos screw me every time I pick them.
Second ranked offense in the league.
Defense. But because of that, the defense has been playing pretty well, and the Raiders are playing with a bunch of misfits. I think the defense plus Bo Nix is starting to put it together. I'm starting to see better and better things out of him, despite only having 63 fucking passing yards last week.
It's crazy.
That was against a very good defense, though. And they managed to still win that game by a smidget.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a roll with them. I'm gonna roll with the Broncos just because of that. I don't love it, but I'm gonna roll with them. I'll say that. 2.5 points is probably a field goal type situation again.
I might play that.
Okay.
2.5 is a good number.
It's a solid.
That's
2.5 don't. 2.5 is.
That's the number you want.
Yeah. Next game on the slate, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
The Green Bay Packers are a 3-point favorite in this game. Coming off of last week's game, Jordan Love looked a little sloppy coming back into the lineup, had 3 interceptions, off to a slow start, but the second half they did start putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
You got Wicks, you got what's my other guy he got at wide receiver on the other side? Reed. Those guys getting a rushing game. Reed went crazy. Having a rushing game, helps to balance out that offense a little bit. To me, I think the Packers just have more going on right now with the injuries that the Rams have had at wide receiver. I think the firepower really limits them. I'm not sure. I think Cooper Kupp is going to continue to be out. I'm not sure about Puka. How long is he going to be out?
There's no news on him right now.
It ain't really much going on with that. So, current news, the only thing they got is Stafford and Kyron Williams. And I don't think that's going to be enough against the Broncos, who have been playing pretty well. Packers, I'm sorry. Packers, who have been playing pretty well defensively and got their starting quarterback back. So I'm going to roll with the Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to side with you on this one. I think Green Bay is going to get this win this week, bounce back after the loss against Minnesota. Obviously, Jordan Love, it was his first game back after post-injury.
Right.
And like I said, I like how he finished, how they finished the game. They finished the game scoring a lot in the fourth quarter. They put up a fight. Granted, he had a lot of turnovers, had 3 interceptions, but he also threw 4 touchdowns. With that being said, the Rams team they're still banged up on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah.
Stafford ain't got really much to work with. The defense is still young. And they banged up too in the secondary. So I'm gonna take the Green Bay Packers, man, to bounce back and get this dub here.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jordan Love props. I think he has another good game this time around with less turnovers for sure. Next game on the slate, we have the New York Football Giants versus the Seattle Seahawks. You look surprised, as if you didn't know that they're still a football team and they haven't been kicked out of the league. I'll say this about your Giants. Against the Cowboys, Daniel Jones actually looked like a halfway decent quarterback.
Halfway.
He looked like a halfway decent quarterback. I seen him drop some passes in there, threw a couple dimes.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Neighbors was very active. He had himself a game.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't enough for them to actually win, but they didn't look like a trash can.
Yeah, I don't know if Malik playing this week. He had a concussion last play of the game, so I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. I haven't checked the reports on him. But
oh man, that's
I'll
terrible.
say this. I mean, we're going to compete in this game, but Seattle, they're a better team, man. They got a better defense. They're at home. We're on the road. Offensively, we don't really
do much.
Oh, prop alert, DK Metcalf. Not a fan of our DB, Tay Banks, but I think Seattle, they get the win here. It's a rematch game for Geno Smith. You know, Geno used to play for the Giants for a year. So I think he's going to come out, show out. He showed out against the Detroit Lions. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, give me Seattle. I think Seattle win this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy choice for me. Geno Smith already threw 1,100 yards, and I think he continues to get some more yards. He's still even on them damn interceptions and touchdowns. But again, DK Metcalf, prop alert.
Yep.
I just feel like it's going to be too much firepower. Kenneth Walker coming out there having a game like he had against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
That team that played against Detroit can for damn sure beat that team that played against the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So give me them. Number one passing offense right now. Give me them against a
good team.
Yeah. I don't like it for New York. It's about to get scary. Waiting all day for Sunday night. We have the Dallas Cowboys.
This is a tough one.
Versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite in this game versus the shaky Dallas Cowboys. What say you about this one? Why is the Pittsburgh Steelers a 2.5-point favorite?
I think Micah Parsons is not playing. I think he's out. I think that was the problem. But
But I mean,
you really just got Dak and CD versus the Steelers. That's just what it is. Dak and CD Lamb versus the Steelers. I'm gonna take the Steelers here at home. They put the ball on the ground, run the ball with Najee Harris. Dallas can't stop the run. They can't run the ball either. Against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense on Sunday Night Football, they're going to be fired up. TJ Watt coming off the edge. That offensive line isn't the best offensive line Dallas has had. It's like a new offensive line that they're working on. So I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Despite them pissing me off last week, they did manage to come back and have a close game against the Colts and Joe Flacco.
If Micah don't play, that's a problem.
If Micah don't play, then that's generating less of a pass rush, and that's going to have Justin Fields doing more freedom to run around and do whatever the hell he wants in the backfield. Plus that Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I think they can generate enough against that offense that has a very limited run game and CD Lamb. So if you get some type of containment on CD Lamb, which very few people can do, but TJ Watt can generate some pressure to make it difficult for him. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers again. Terrible towels, don't disappoint me.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with it for that reason. Last game on the slate. Waiting all week for Monday night, we have the New Orleans Aints versus the Kansas City Chiefs. This is an interesting game. The Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite in this one. I don't love the point spread at all.
Nope.
The Chiefs, without Rashee Rice, putting a lot of pressure on Xavier Worthy. If this was any other team, I'd be hella questioning whether or not they could win against the Saints right now, just because they don't have a lot of firepower in terms of offensively. But Kelsey did show up. He had himself a decent outing.
Had no choice. Had to.
Xavier Worthy was able to get in the end zone. He is worthy of touchdowns. The absence of Pacheco is still felt. The run game is don't love it. But I will say, because it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs against a slightly banged up New Orleans Saints, I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win. I don't love that 5.5-point spread. That's an ugly number.
Yeah, I agree. The Chiefs, all their wins this year have been one-score games. So that spread is not looking too good for them. No. I'm definitely gonna best bet alert. I'm definitely gonna plug the Saints. I think the Chiefs. You can't bet against the Chiefs. I don't care what team they got, what players are out there. As long as they got 15 back there, getting the ball. And
find a way to win the game. They find a way to win. Football.
They find a way to
keep
win.
Doing it.
And they're at home too. So give me the Kansas City to win this game. I don't like the spread, but give me Kansas City to win.
Yeah, the Aints ain't won against people they need to win against yet. So till they do that, they got to prove it. But that is the full slate of the games, my brother. But these folks still need to know something that's highly important, and you know what that is. I know what that is. We know what that is. The folks need to know what are your best bets, brother.
Best bets. So last week, best bets. We both went 1 and 2 last week.
We did go 1 and 2.
Not a good week in best bets, but overall for the season right now, we are at 6 and 6. So we're at 500 on our best bets, which is not bad. That just means that every bet, we didn't lose any money. We didn't make any money, and we didn't lose any money, which is not bad. So for this week,
I made a little money on a teaser.
Yeah. This week, though, I got a few good ones I'm feeling really good about. I was jotting them down as we were going through. My first one, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos minus 2.5 against the Raiders. Like I said, there's too much noise going on over there in Vegas. Broncos at home, less than a field goal favorite. Give me that. I'm going to go ahead and lock it, seal it, and ship it out.
Okay.
My next one is going to be Green Bay. Green Bay playing the Rams, coming off of a loss. Jordan Love with another week in practice under his belt. Played a good second half last week against the Vikings, a tough Vikings team, the 4-0 Vikings team. I think they take that into L.A. and they get a dub against a banged up Rams team. So give me Green Bay minus 3. And then my last one is going to be, like we just discussed, New Orleans plus 5.5. The Chiefs they've been winning all their games. They scraped by. They've been winning all their games in one score. They are man down. Rashee Rice is not out there. They don't have that many weapons, but I think they win the game, but I don't think they cover that spread. So I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at plus 5.5. So my best bets, Saints 5.5, Green Bay minus 3, and Denver minus 2.5. 2 favorites and 1 underdog.
Okay. I'm not mad at that one. Now, for me, my best bets, I've been looking at a few teams, and it's certain teams that's just been glaring to me. One of them being, I'm going to roll with the Washington Commanders versus the Cleveland Browns. I know this might not be your necessary favorite just because of the Browns' defense. However, the Washington Commanders team is pretty damn hot. And I like what they got going on. I like the motion. They're a 3-point favorite. So give me the Washington Commanders minus 3 at home versus that Browns team. Another one that I like a lot, give me the Seattle Seahawks versus the New York Football Giants. Sorry, brother. But I got to take the Seahawks minus 6 in this one. I just don't think the Giants have enough on both sides of the football to rock with whatever Seattle does. They really have a chance of doing whatever the hell they want to do. And they just did pretty damn well, put up 29 points against a very good Detroit team. So I think they come out here and cook. Last one, I was mulling it over. I was thinking, contemplating, meditating, saging the air. But give me the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I know it's a division game. I know it's tough. But 2.5 point spread out of that Ravens team that I just saw, that's a good Ravens team.
Easy picking.
I'm gonna roll with them. I'm gonna give them a shot and see if they can run it back against Joe Burrow and the Bengals in Cincinnati. So for that, we have Washington minus 3, Seattle minus 6, and the Baltimore Ravens minus 2.5. But there's more. These folks still need to know. Who's barking at you? Did you put it in the cage?
I got a couple barking, but I'm gonna go with one.
Who's the dog of the week?
Yeah. So far this year we are 2 and 2 with our underdogs. Last week it was the Vikings. for me, and then
Tampa Bay for
Tampa
me.
for you. So we're both 2-2.
Yeah, good shit.
Good shit. We're 500 on our best bets and our underdog. So let's try to get in the win column this week.
It's time.
My underdog this week, I'm going with the Jets over in London to beat the undefeated Minnesota Vikings overseas. I'm taking the Jets, man. I think the Jets, this probably be the best defense that Sam Darnold has faced. Yeah. And we might see something different this week. The Jets, they've been going through a lot of scrutiny in the media. Coaches, quarterback, receivers talking. There's a lot of, everything's going on in the Jets. It's real noisy over there.
Yeah.
And I think Ron is going to come and show out in London.
Ron is good.
In London. He's going to quiet the noise. Relax.
Well, I'm going to go with a team. My Chargers are on a bye week this week, so I can't bolt up. So I might as well Colt up. Give me Joe Flacco and those Indianapolis Colts. If Flacco is in the game, I think they cook up. Give me the Colts. +3 in this one. I think they got a good-ass shot of going ahead and getting the dub in this one against a very struggling Jacksonville Jaguars. Until Jaguars show me something, I'm going against them. So, yeah, there you have it. There's a full slate. You got our best bets. You got our dogs, the ones that's barking. We even snuck in a few prop alerts for some people y'all need to look out, but make sure y'all tap into Props Made Easy. I'm telling you, it helps. It helps. They gave me some good ones. 8.5 rushing attempts with Bucky Irvin. He ended up getting 10. I wouldn't have thought to do that one, but it was a good one, and it cashed for me. So stuff like that is things that I find on Props Made Easy to go ahead and fill in that 3-4 team parlay that you're trying to make work with a couple teams that you really love or one that they give you and they give me. Roll with it.
Yes,
Props
sir.
Made Easy, man. But make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. Keep showing us that love so we can keep showing it back to y'all. And as we like to say around here, parlays, making money line plays. May all these bets pay, because I need that money today.
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys next week for week 5 recap.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Out. Out. Out.